In this lesson, I want to continue working by adding circles to the mask. Before I start working, I would like to say, at the end of the previous lesson, while it was off the record, I joined the loops you saw here and also joined the whole work. Other than that, I didn't do anything. I want to start by coming to the shaded view. Then I want to select the circles. I enter the copy command. Then I hold the End option and copy to the right. Next, I select the rings. I want to rotate 90 degrees right, and I rotate it horizontally 90 degrees using the gumball screen arrow. Then I enter the Move command. I hold it from the center option, and I can position the circles to the center mask. Then I'm going to slide the circles a little to the right and lower them down. I want to display only mask and circles. I use the isolate object command. Then let's center the circles a little more. Then I want to enter the scale command. Then I grab it from the center. And I got it from center. I scale the circles a little. Then we can recenter. I'm going to lower it a little bit lower and move it back a little. It looks great this way. I choose the circle in the middle. I enter the copy command. I want to keep it from center option and copy it to the end. Then I reselect this circle and move it inward a little more. Then I reselect the stern and fore circle. I enter the trim command. I want to trim the parts that go in. Next, let's get the piece here symmetrical to the other side. I enter the mirror command. I get 0, space, and symmetric to the other side. Next, I want to enter the dot edge command. Let's create the curve of the edge here and this edge. Then I want to enter the trim command by selecting the two circles. And I want to trim the insides. Then let's trim the surfaces at the intersection point. I choose the polysurface option. There should also be a surface at the bottom. I'm clipping that too. Let's repeat the same for the other side. I'm trimming the excess here as well. I trim this excess too. And I complete it by pressing space key. Then let's check. There is a redundancy here. I selected the surface, entered the trim command, trimmed the excess. Now I can see any redundancy. I want to enter the dot edge command again. I'm creating a curve from these edges. Let's select these edges as well. I press the space key, then by pressing the shift key, I select this curve. I enter the trim command and I want to trim the excess. I clean up the excess by selecting the curve. I complete it by pressing the space key. Then I merge these curves into one piece using the join command. I'm creating a surface inside it using the planar surface command. Then I select the surface, I enter the mirror command, I write 0, space, and I got symmetry to the other side. I press Ctrl A and turned off the isocurves option. Then I want to enter the cell curve command. I delete the curves by pressing the delete key. Then let's knit a surface on this part. I enter the dot edge command. I create a curve by selecting the edges. Then I enter the trim command. I'll trim off the excess of curve. Let's get a little closer. I complete it by pressing the space. I enter the join command and I create a surface inside it with the planar surface command. Let's repeat the same thing here. I enter the dot edge command. Then I select this edge and this edge. I press the space key, I enter the trim command and trimming the excess of the curve. I complete it by pressing the space key. I enter the join command and create a surface with the planar surface command. Next, I want to delete the surfaces. I delete it by pressing the delete key. And now I have created the mess. I thought of such a design for the mess. You can model your own design according to your imagination. I press Ctrl A and turn off the isocurve option. Then I select the surfaces inside. And I want to extrude the inside surfaces downwards with the extrude surface command. I press Ctrl A, I turn the isocurves option off again. Now I can delete the surfaces by pressing delete. Then let's reselect the rig. Let's enter the copy command. Let's grab it from the center and copy it to the top. Then I reselect the rings at the top. I enter the scale command from the center option and I keep it from the center option. I'm scaling. Then let's average. And it can stay that way. I want to move it up a little bit. Let's enter the move command. I choose all the rings. Then I press the space key. I want to select center option. I keep it from center option again. Then I move to the end position. Then I want to center it again. Let's choose them all. Let's bring it down a little. And it can stay that way. Now I have actually modeled mess the way I wanted. Let's show everything again by choosing the show command. Then I want to add mess hardware on the mess. There are satellites and necessary equipment for the communication on the mess. You don't actually model this hardware. Whoever is the company that will produce this equipment, produce these materials according to the sea condition in which the boat will sail. In other words, special equipment is put on the boat according to the purpose of use. I will not model this equipment. I had this before. I wanted it directly on the model. Coming to my Rhino file, I choose Mets equipment. Then I copy it by pressing Ctrl C. Then I come back to the Rhino file I was working with and paste it by pressing Ctrl V. Then we can average these equipments. I delete this part by pressing the delete key. Then I choose this piece. I entered the mirror command, got 0, space and symmetrical to the other side. I can move this equipment back a little too. And let's take this equipment a little further. Then let's check them out. I'm moving it down a little. I need to carry a little more. It can stay that way. Let's move it back a little. I delete this part by pressing the delete key. Then I enter the copy command. I choose this piece. I keep it from the intersection option and copy it to the top. Then I center it using the gumball arrow. Antenna is also positioned centered. At this stage, I completed the modeling of the mast. With this lesson, we have completed the modeling of the exteriors and decks. When you look at the design, you actually see a very nice model, but you realize that there is a deficiency. Glasses are not currently attached on the model. We haven't added the glass yet. The reason we didn't add it is we didn't divide the boat into blocks. After diving the boat into blocks, we will arrange the rooms according to the block. The glasses will be also modeled according to the rooms. That's why I didn't want the glasses to this section. But in the next section, after analyzing the floatable length of the boat, we will add the glasses on the model. In the next section, I will continue to work with the modeling of the compartments and final exterior section. See you in the next lesson.